are we in agreement that this is the game to watch this weekend? The Brady Rodgers NFC Championship matchup.
I think they're both really entertaining, honestly.
I do too.
I think like I don't think this is more out like more of an outlier of the game to watch. Because I honestly think that this game, I don't even want to say it because it's probably just gonna be the opposite of what happens. But I think this game could be more boring potentially than the Chiefs Bills. So
What do you mean by boring? Do you mean less like playmaking?
I mean less, yeah. I mean less like playmaking, like when you're watching a game, like I would get more. I feel like there's gonna be more excitement and more closeness in the Chiefs Bills game. But like as opposed to, I think that in this game we could see Rodgers blow him out of the water, or it could be a good game. I don't know. I'm not a big Bucks fan. I just don't really like them, so it's hard for me to like be unbiased. But Devontae is playing so good. It's honestly really hard to like to talk against the Packers. I like the Packers in this one.
Yeah, I think the one thing that sort of differentiates this game from the other games from the other game that we're going to see this weekend, plus the other games that have been played in the playoffs, maybe not last week's Brady Breeze matchup, there's legacies involved. There's so much more on the table. Like when I was watching the Brady Breeze game, even at the non-exciting moments, I still felt that little pit in my stomach because I was like, holy shit, what if Brady loses? Like, what does that say about his legacy? Leaving Belichick, loses in the first playoff run, and he has a great team. Now Breeze, throwing 3 interceptions. I'm like, there's so much emotion involved in these games. And I think the same thing can be said for this Rodgers Brady matchup. And I do agree. The Packers, super, super good offense, really powerful team. Devontae, Rodgers, that tandem, that duo just looks like Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, not the same archetypes, but on steroids. Like that wide receiver quarterback connection is so strong, and it can win them games single-handedly. But I will never, ever, ever, ever in my life, in a conference championship game, bet against Tom Brady. Never, ever in my life will I ever do that. So I'm going to take the Bucs to win this game just because Tom Brady finds a way to win. He does. He's done it throughout his career, and I think he's going to do it now.
And I think
it's annoying though.
Please put your money where your mouth is, because all I'm saying is both teams that you've taken so far are both underdogs. And if you hit like a parlay or some shit with that, like you'd be rich. But I don't know.
I might have to do it then.
Dude, I'm just saying I'm gonna be. I understand like the whole like Brady gets it done, but
don't though. Like I don't think you understand the scale. He's been to more championship games than like most other franchises, and he's won like 95% of them. This guy does not lose in the playoffs.
And what separates? Yeah, with Belichick as his head coach.
Let me add one.
So what do we say? Belichick didn't even make the playoffs. You can't use that as an argument.
No, what were you gonna say?
When he's so far and away outperformed Belichick this season,
it's not an argument against Brady. It's an argument that.
But I'll say that
it is an argument against Brady's legacy, saying Belichick enabled him.
I think that Brady last game, it wasn't Brady won the game. It was the defense won the game. It was.
But that's every Brady team. That's every Brady.
No, but it's not only every Brady team. It's the attitude. Will, the attitude that Brady brings to the table is what's contagious. It's what makes this football team step it up. And it's why he wins. So you might say Brady wins because of his defense. This defense got sparked a lot of times during the season. They're not like the best defense in the league or anything, but they won that game last week because I'm betting Brady inspired them. Because
this is what I have to say.
Because they know they have a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl this year, and they know that they have the best football player ever leading their offense, and that's inspiring to them. I would bet.
One thing, Wilf, before I move on. Last week, the Bucs did not win. The Saints lost. That's how I look at it. The Saints gave them that game. 4 turnovers. And I'm not taking away from the Bucs. I'm just saying the Saints had everything that they could have won that game had they minimized mistakes. Could that be somewhat attributed to Brady? For sure. He brings an attitude wherever he goes. It's like the LeBron effect. You go somewhere, like obviously it's different in different sports, but like that same winning attitude, such detail-oriented focus. I think he's the GOAT by far, best quarterback ever, and just the way his whole attitude, whatever. But I would say this: the last game, you need to look at these turnovers that happen, and also I hate that Breeze. Like I love that guy, and it just pained me so much to see him like make all those mistakes. But like the first pick was all his fault. The second one, miscommunication with Kamara. Who knows whose fault it was. The third one is on Jared Cook because it just bounced off his shoulder. And then Jared Cook also had zero ball security on the other turnover. So it's like you look at those 4 turnovers, like you're not winning a game in the playoffs. You're not winning a regular season game if you have 4 turnovers in a game. So no matter whatever they gave away the game and they're so unclutch in the playoffs.
I just want to say
championship-
one more thing. I just
Yeah.
want to say one more thing, Wilf, just about this Brady conversation. Then we'll probably move off to something else because I don't want it to take up.
No,
our
I just
time
want to
talking
say my
about-
thoughts on the game. I just want to say my thoughts on the game. real
Okay.
quick.
I want to talk a little bit more about the Brady effect and why I think he will
Okay.
single-handedly lead them to the Super Bowl this year.
Can I just say my thought on the game? So this is what we have to think about. This is going to be Rodgers' 5th conference championship game, and he's never been at home. Green Bay, 20-degree weather. We need to factor that in. Another thing is we're so used to Brady hosting it in New England. Obviously, he won that one year in Kansas City in the championship game. But I think what's really exciting to me is I don't care about the big plays. It's like the defense is what's going to win the game, and it's so cool to see Brady versus Rodgers because usually it's like we're not seeing them unless they're going to be in a Super Bowl together, and that's so rare. And now we're seeing them twice, and they are the 2 best quarterbacks of this generation. I'd say maybe Peyton, maybe Breeze, but
I think you gotta put Rodgers ahead of Peyton because of the play. I love Peyton Manning, but it's just because of the playoff success.
I'm just so excited for this game, and like I hate the Packers so much. I think they're gonna win because I think if Rodgers has had such worse teams before, like he has had so many less chances than Brady, and I think Rodgers really is gonna take that.
I agree with you, Andrew. Like the thing about this, like the Packers are playing flawless football right now. They just look so sharp, like on both sides of the ball. Like Aaron Jones is an absolute animal. And I can't remember Aaron Rodgers throwing an incompletion. Like I just don't have that. Like every time I see him throw, he's connecting with Adams. But yeah, like you said, the Saints-Bucks game, like the Saints looked really good. They looked better than the Bucks like a lot of that game. There were just these errors that really turned it. I don't know. I'm feeling the Packers really run away with it just in Lambeau. I mean, Rodgers looks great this year. And they just look like a different team, more confident than ever. And like you said, Rodgers hasn't had as many chances. And we have to remember the Bucks-Packers game earlier this year. That was a mess. The Packers really let that get out of hand, and I think that they'll want to turn that around for
Just
sure.
like Brady with the breeze, Rodgers is gonna use that like as motivation.
Exactly.
I guess you could say that, but you know, Brady's thrown 4,600 yards this season, his most since 2015. Are you saying 2015 Brady's going to lose this game? No. Brady threw 40 touchdowns this season, his most since 2007. Like, you guys are not giving Brady, the greatest football player of all time, on this super team that he's kind of constructed. Like, let's be honest, the weapons that he has on offense, it's ridiculous. I just don't see him losing. Like, I just don't see it because he's proved to me throughout his career that he finds a way to win. And you're saying like cold weather, Brady was the king of snow games in Gillette. Like, you know, I don't know if you can necessarily say that's going to knock him off his game. Maybe the rest of the team you could talk about, and football is a team sport, but it's just, I understand because the Packers do look so good this year. They do.
2015, Tom Brady lost in the AFC Championship game to Peyton Manning before he rode off into the sunset. So.
Okay, but then I'm just saying he won like a Super Bowl both years around that year.
Brady's goated. Like, I'm not saying he's not.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like I think there's
it's impressive that he's here. I would have never thought it.
But I think there's this sort of appearance bias, this familiarity bias where you're like, oh, we've seen Brady in this position so many times. We've seen him win the Super Bowl so many times. There's another awesome, great quarterback who hasn't done it like that. Let's give him his turn. And I think that's why a lot of people see the Packers just like, because when I talk to people, they don't think this game is going to be close. Like you guys have only talked about, from what I've heard of our conversation, it's only been either the Packers blow them out or it's a good game. There's no the Bucks blow them out. Nobody thinks the Bucks are going to take this game like that. And I think there's a little bias there. And I think that they're underestimating Tom Brady.
I can
Ethan,
definitely.
I
call
don't
it
disagree. I haven't disagreed with like anything that you said. Like Brady's a winner. I loved him against the Saints last week. I just think that the Packers are a better football team. I think their defense is better, their run game is
Honestly,
better, and I think that they are the better team. I mean, that's how I see it.
honestly, I agree, but I think that the attitude Brady brings and that sort of
He changed the culture. That's what he
the
did.
culture is different. You're
Jameis
right.
Winston wouldn't even brought this team with these weapons to the playoffs.
Nope. And Brady, you see what Bruce Arians is even saying from the sideline. Like Brady has a lot more shot calling freedom this year than he has in the past. And he's got all this experience. I think he's one of the most winningest players, most determined, most hardworking. He knows the books. He knows what this team likes to run. He knows what his receivers are good at. I think they win this game, but I don't think it's going to be close. I don't mean to talk down on the Packers. It's just there's such like an I don't know if maybe I'm contriving this just because I'm being defensive because like, I don't know, but I feel like there's such an overwhelming thought that the Packers take this game. So I just want to push back against that with some equal intensity to get it to where I think it needs to be, which is where this is anyone's game. But personally, I think Brady takes it. I've said that 100 times. Though.
It'd be really cool if he won. It'd be awesome if Brady
I
won.
think one thing I'll say is key for success in order for the Packers to make this because Packers obviously have the firepower on offense. We all know that. They can keep up with the Bucs on offense for sure. Only thing I'd say is I think the way that you get to Brady, and this is just a general, I think is a fact. The way you affect Brady in a game, any game you play, is pass rush. If you knock him down a few times, he's not the same. If Zadarius Smith can get some hits on him, we might see something. We might see a blowout because I think that once you get a couple of hits on him, the production goes down. The only thing that I can say to counter my own point is that the Bucs linemen are the scariest people like I've ever seen like in my life. Like there's that one dude with the long hair, and he was like leveling the Saints like linebackers like such dirty shots throughout the entire game. I'm like, wow, that guy would.
They do not
suck
want
to play
anyone
against.
touching Tom Brady.
No.
They don't want anyone touching him.
No, but Joe, I think you're very right. I was watching a game with my friends, and I kept saying I don't know who the defensive coordinator for the Bucs is, but they would send like 8 guys.
Todd Bowles is.
Todd Bowles would send like these hot blitzes at Breeze, and Breeze would not have time. He would never be comfortable.
It was genius.
Brady, on the other hand, would have fucking 5 hours to sit in the pocket, scan the entire field 3 times, and then throw the ball. Like they need to get pressure on him if they want to win this game. And I think
but I don't know if
to do that. And I also think that they have a very good secondary. So I don't know. I think they're defensively like they can stand up to Brady, but it's a matter of coaching. I think ultimately, and how they decide to approach the game in terms of are they going to sit back and like sit in a zone, or are they going to go and get him and put him on his ass and then see where it goes from there.
So right before we move on, I want to know who do you guys think will be winning the Super Bowl in 2 weeks? What are your guys' picks?
Packers.
For me, it's Kansas City. I just love the team, and I'm really excited. And they're just my favorite team to watch right now.
I have Green Bay.
Let's ride, Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna say Green Bay too, but it's Green Bay or the Chiefs to me. It feels pretty simple, which makes me think that it won't be that easy. But
Never the Bucs. Never.
I hear you guys. I hear ya. I think it's a Bucs Bills Super Bowl, and I think Tom Brady's experience. I think he gets another ring and solidifies himself as the GOAT.
That'd be the first time a team plays in their home stadium in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it's literally like it's a Cinderella story for Brady. He gets knocked out in the first round, leaves New England, gets the super team built around him. The coach gives him more liberty. To Super Bowls in Tampa Bay. Antonio Brown, Gronk comes back. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin beats Breeze. I mean, I bet you more people. I mean, maybe not this year, but at the start of the year, more people were probably like, "Oh, Breeze versus Brady." I mean, versus Rodgers. So I don't know. I think it's the Bucs. We'll see.
Wacker, you should join the Brady family so you can kiss him on the lips.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm not even like being a Brady fanboy. I'm just saying you guys are.
I mean, you are though. You
I
love
think you're
it. You
discounting
sit
the
there
effect.
and say, "Oh, Brady!" Like, come on, bro.
I'm not saying it because it's like, oh, Brady. I'm saying it because I actually think the football is going to translate that way.
All right.
And that's the way I feel with Andy
I
Reid.
just hate the man.
How about this?
I respect him for being a very good football player. I just really hope he loses.
We'll see. We might have to make like a side bet, Theo, after the episode or something.